understands the word to a certain extent because I've been in it, and I've learned it and sat up under people and been taught. But no, I am not at all a preacher or anything of sort. I'm just educated in it.
Okay. Okay. Amber from London. Shout out to London. Amber from London is asking, do you guys think it's important to role play, have toys, and try new things in your relationship to keep the sex banging after 20 years of marriage? I'll let you go first. Oh, I'm going first? I mean, it really depends on the couple and the dynamic and where y'all hold sex at in y'all relationship, to be honest. If you're highly sexual, then yes, you could do things to keep it interesting. And you don't have to let other partners in for that. Like, there's books, there's toys, there's different activities. I mean, watch a porn. Try something on a porn. It's different ways and stuff that it don't have to be like 20 years is definitely a huge milestone, and it's something we all hope to achieve. Well, not all of us, but I do. I know. But yeah, you got to do stuff to keep your relationship fresh. A lot of things people do is they get in these relationships and forget what they did to get the person and stop doing it, and just fall into a routine of being comfortable and let it go like that. Your partner's always gonna want to feel wanted. They always gonna want to feel needed. They want to feel sexy, and it's your job to do that for both parties. And it's also your job as the person to make yourself feel sexy. Don't have your happiness and your sexuality and all your like, I want to say, I'm looking for the word, but your value rest on one person, because that's not fair to them. That's an enormous weight, and that's something you should carry. Anybody got anything else to say? Yeah, it was a woman. You have something to say, Keandra?
Like, you have to be happy. Your happiness does not well, I feel like your happiness, you cannot put your happiness on your partner. That's your own responsibility. You come together to share happiness. Your partner adds to your happiness. And when it comes to sexual, you have to feel sexy, because there ain't nothing somebody else can do to make you feel sexy. If you feel sexy, you take care of your body, you do your own thing, and you follow his lead, or you listen to your partner, or however it is within your relationship, and that you want to keep it spicy. I've been married for 12 years, so we gotta listen to each other and do our own thing.
Congratulations, that's stuff.
I feel like when your partners, just like what on other podcasts when we talk about communication, don't be afraid to communicate with your partner, because when it's all said and done, there might be something that you might like and everything like that. And we've all seen those types of movies where you have a married couple that's been together, and the next thing you know, they see something spontaneous and different and blah 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 blah. Well, sometimes if you don't tell your partner that you want to do different types of things, they might think that they okay with the normal stuff that they doing. Communicate with each other, because you never know, your partner might be willing to try something different that you kind of thinking. Or sometimes it might be a situation where it's like, hey, we've been doing this for a while, can we change it up? He or she might be like, change it up to what? I don't know, but let's just try something different. Now that other partner that you're with is going to be looking for something different to try with you, and they just might surprise you.
Also, so we can pivot as well. What if you do end up bringing the conversation to your partner and stuff like that, and they're not willing to try it? So how do you cope with that? So you've been in a relationship, it don't even have to be a marriage, just in a relationship for so long, and you just feel burnt out, bored, and you looking for some spice, and you communicate your needs, and it's like, I'm not doing that. I don't know about that. That's too much. I'm too vanilla. So what do you do? Do you stay in it? Do you just say, okay, well, this is just how the relationship, and you just start weighing the pros and the cons and saying that, well, I got 80% of my needs met. That 20%, hey, what do you do with that?
In my opinion, that term, the grass may not be greener on the other side, kind of, because I mean, when it's all said and done, if you think about it like this, a lot of times I feel like when a partner is not getting what they need, the answer would be to find it somewhere else. But at the same time, if you do that, you have to be in a position to where you say, okay, am I willing to be without, saying this little 20% for the 80% of good that this person is actually bringing me. Now, in my opinion,
Sex is big, though.
yeah, absolutely.
Sex is very big.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't really have to have it like that, or they're okay with it as long as, because it's been holding them. But as the time go on, you start getting curious about things and stuff like that. What do you do in this? That's a very, you gonna throw this in a relationship away because of such?
I have.
For sex?
Yep.
Because women don't do it. That's my thing. A lot of women do not do it. A lot of women, I don't want to speak for all women, but I, as a woman, I know most women with men, sex is terrible. But because he pay all the bills, he's present, he's a good father, and this and this and this and that, I can please myself, and that's just that, and I just, women do it a lot. Men do not sacrifice their sexual.
I mean, women
desires.
do it a lot, but you got to be able to ask yourself, like, are you willing to sacrifice that? I sacrificed it for a long time, and then I said, fuck that. I'm not lying about no nut no more.
Right, no, seriously.
Just to make someone happy, because at the end of the day, it starts to weigh on you.
Mentally.
So, and then once it weighs on you mentally, it weighs on you emotionally. Once it weighs on you emotionally, it weighs on you physically. Once it weighs on you physically, you're already halfway out the fucking door.
Yep.
And you gotta think yourself, if you willing to cheat, what's the point of staying in that relationship?
Right. So when you do cheat, you gotta be willing to go. Ready to go.
I think a lot of people stay in those situations because they're comfortable with them.
Yeah. They get most of their needs met though. That's that 80%. So why would I go? I can get this, but that's the thing. That's the thing about choices. You got your 80%, and you want to see what this 20%. This 20% finna just be spicy. But then you go over here with this 20%. This 20% ain't finna give you that 80. That's the
Trust me,
thing.
I know exactly what you did. Listen, I've been through that. Like, I've been through that.
Finna lose getting these bills paid.
I've been through that. Like, I went for the 20%, and the sex was great. But outside of the sex, it was nothing. And I wound up leaving at 20%. And, I mean, the person wasn't 80. Let's get it straight like that. But,
Okay, so
but it was just like it was what was more important to me. Like, I had, then at that point, I had to reevaluate myself and my morals and my values and really ask myself, what did I want?
Okay, so look, I'm gonna kind of mess with y'all just a little bit, because now I'm gonna question what the numbers are. We talk about 80 versus 20%. Okay, y'all remember when we was in school and everything like that, and you got homework, right? That's 10% of your grade. You know what I'm saying? You got tests. That might be 50% of your grade. it's not about the number of assignments, but if that carries that much weight, then that might be 50% of the value of that whole relationship. So when you make it that big, now you're making the choice on whether or not you really actually technically want to stay, because it carries a heavier percentage.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it really depends. Like for me, a man paying my bills, that's a bonus, yeah, but I don't need it. I can do it for myself. So that was not something, like, sex was always a big thing for me because I'm a highly sexual person. And if you can't like, please me sexually, we're not going to last. And I tell motherfuckers that from the rip.
And that's where it is, because that needs to be communicated in the very, very beginning. So when you communicate something like that in the very, very beginning, you know, it's up to that man to say, okay, I'm going to be able to do this or I'm not.
See, what I value most is growth. And my thing is, you don't know how to eat pussy, baby, I teach you. You don't know how to fuck, baby, I teach you. Come on, let's learn together. Let's learn some new shit. But when you just flat out don't care about my needs and you being selfish and you always the one nutting and I'm sitting there faking and rolling my eyes and biting my nails behind your fucking back and telling you in Spanish that your dick is trash, but all you hear is Spanish, so you like, oh yeah. Then no, bye. I give so many chances. People don't even deserve all the chances that I fucking give. But once I go silent, I'm already out. I just haven't physically left yet.
But see, that goes back to what she was talking about at first, is when you bring something to your partner and everything like that, and they're not willing to do it. Now, what you just said right there was that you gotta have a partner that's willing to grow. If they don't know, they gotta be willing to move forward. When you get that person that's not willing to go nowhere, and that's 50% of what you need, now you question a relationship. It just is what it is, period, point blank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that needs to be communicated at the very, very beginning.
And I do, like, you can speak for it. I'm blunt as hell. Like, I share all my feelings. I'm letting you know from the rip what I want, how I want it, and I let you know, listen, sometimes I'm not able to communicate at that moment, but I'll write you a poem, I'll write you a song, because this might be how I get it out, and I'll let you read it, and then we can talk about it. There's no way, like with me, there's no, anybody who's ever been in a relationship with me, I mean, they can say it, but they'll be lying, and he can attest to this. There's no doubt about how I feel about somebody. There's no doubt about where you stand with me. There is absolutely no doubt about your value in my life, because I leave no doubt. I let you know from the rip, and I keep it there, and I always I check in. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm fine when I'm not, but I'll come back and talk about it. Eventually, I will. I'll be like, hey, listen, we gotta talk. Remember this, and that. Well, this is how I feel, and sometimes I just say it in a rush, cause I be so. It's the fear of the unknown. You don't know how that person's gonna react. You don't know how, like, you don't know if that person gonna see you in a different light. But that's why it's so important to pick your partner. Where you get that partner, it's not gonna give a fuck. They're not gonna judge you. They're not gonna see you in a different light. You feel me? I mean, am I lying?
No, I get it.
See, look, no doubt. You know exactly where you stand.
So my thing is, if I was talking to, the guys out there, I would say always be willing to grow, always be willing to learn, always be willing to try something different. But for those things that you do know, don't whip out everything at one time, because it always gives you the ability to do something different. And my thing is, there's a lot of things that can be done. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like from a male perspective, from a leader perspective, it's going to be on the male to say, hey, I'm about to try this. I'm about to try that. I'm about to do this different. But don't be so quick to do it. Move and work in patience. Because a lot of people get impatient and be like, oh, let me do this, let me do that. And then next thing you know, you ain't got no more ideas. You ain't got nothing else to do. and everything like that, and look for ways to change things up.